First stage is a four-step process. The first stage is what I call a zero. Zero just means an uninitiated student. If you go to any university, you would see students who are trying to graduate and find a job. Universities have taken them through all kinds of book knowledge, but very little practical hands-on experience. Now, how do you take these students? They primarily are job seekers. They want to go find a job. And the first stop is to make them into a maker. A maker is someone who can think of things and with your hands make it. When we were kids, we used to take cardboard boxes and, bottle caps and popsicle sticks and stick them together and made things. Of course, they weren't the greatest products, but we could actually think about things and make them. How many of you have ever made, at least in the last 1 week, made anything? Or in the last 1 month, how many of you made anything? We have kind of lost that art over as we grow up because we focus on other things. And the next stage is a stage of an innovator, where the person learns to solve problems. When the first maker hacks things and makes things that are feasible, an innovator needs to hack a problem and make things that people really desire. And the last stage is a stage of an entrepreneur, where he converts the problem into an opportunity and creates something that is even viable. Now, I will go into the 3 stages. The stage of a maker, if you want to make a beautiful piece of furniture, you need to learn the craft of woodworking. So craft of woodworking may take several years before you can actually create an artistic piece of furniture. If I would have been a rock star if it wasn't for I didn't spend enough time learning the craft of playing a guitar. So I'm where I am now. So the craft is what is stopping you from getting to the art. Now, when you really look at, if you can accelerate this learning of craft, you could actually take them through much faster cycle time of learning and failing. So when you look at digital fabrication, that actually enables you to think of an idea, design it on computer. I can put a piece of wood, and my CNC machine would actually cut it for me. I don't need to know planing. I don't need to know all the woodworking craft. Or I can print it out on a 3D printer. So I can accelerate this learning cycle, and that's what we use. And I don't think age or experience is a bar in any way. I have taught kids 8 years old through 65 years old, the same process of learning and doing things. And the whole purpose is to design something, make something, and play with it. Don't worry about solving any world problems. So we created this program called the 48-Hour Makerfest, where we teach them to ideate. Ideate is when you sit around and think about how to create something, and they bring ideas and teach how do you think outside your little zone of comfort. And then they learn to CAD it, the physical product, mechanically they'll CAD it, they learn electronics, they code. Within 48 hours, by end of 48 hours, they would have a working prototype. Just starting from zero, we can actually take them through that. So what we are doing here is that these kids are learning to design and make electronic parts and such. And then they need to create certain products, as I said, in 2 days. And this team made a little baby cradle, automatic baby cradle. So when you put something in a cradle, and this is all done in 2 days. Okay. And that's a cockroach buster.
Call it the cockroach busters, right?
Anything that moves inside, you can suddenly trap the cockroaches. But of course, these are all the fun things to do. I'm sure nobody's going out and selling this cockroach buster anywhere out in the market. But what you see is that at the end of the second day, these kids are on fire. They have suddenly realized certain potential that they never realized they had. And, things such as this. This is what they call a useless box. When you turn it on, it will turn itself off. And it can get angry, and it can play with you, But think of it as an experience that you are creating. So the designer has to think about, how do I design this experience that the user wants to see? From there, figure out what kind of physical product do I make from there. Then they have to do the design, the mechanical parts, design the electronics inside, write the code, write the software to realize the experience that they want to get. And these are the kids here. I think they were from Inti. So how young can you go? So we did this on 6th grade students, which is about 11 years old. And they created this robot that kicks a ball at a goalpost that scores a goal, you know. And
No, it's not enough. It's Perry.
at 6 years old, the funniest thing was this was in Saigon. We ran the program. At the end of the night, these kids would not leave the lab. And the parents were all waiting outside till 10, 11 o'clock at night because they were so engrossed. They suddenly realized something they could do. And these are the ones, you know. So if 6th grade students can do it, I believe, you know, you don't need an engineering degree to do any of these products. The next stage is a stage of an innovator. Innovator, you need to go to a community, observe, understand the kind of problems, and define what kind of need that you can see, that you can solve. And from there, ideate again solutions. And we use design thinking as a process to go through this, get to the end. We develop empathy for the customer, and from there, define the need and create solutions. We normally take them to places where they're not they're not comfortable going, such as, you know, this is in a rubber estate somewhere and cattle farm, or this is where they were making coconut fiber ropes. And these are my students who actually go there and spend their time. And this was in a little tiny tribal village. We spent a day in the village actually sleeping in their huts to understand what kind of problems they face in life, so that they could come back and actually understand, create the kind of problem that we could solve.